You don't lose your power in chaos. You lose it the moment you react. This is something many people don't realize until it's too late. Every time you allow something to upset you, distract you, or offend you, you are giving away your power without even knowing it. We live in a world that constantly pulls at your emotions. Everything is built to get a reaction out of you. News, social media, conversations. But the most powerful thing you can do is stay calm and grounded in silence. Not because you are weak or don't care, but because you are aware. You see what's happening, but you choose not to let it affect you. Reacting is easy. Anyone can get angry. Anyone can shout. But to feel the storm and not become the storm, that takes self-control. Strong people don't respond to every noise around them. They respond to clear direction. When things fall apart, they don't panic. They pause. When someone disrespects them, they don't explode. They think. This is not because they have no emotions, but because they have learned the power of stillness. They understand that every reaction comes with a cost, and your energy is valuable. Don't spend it on things that don't give anything back. Here's something people don't often talk about. Every time you react, you become a mirror. That means someone else is holding the brush, painting your emotions. Think about it. If someone says something rude and you react with anger, they controlled you. If something small ruins your whole day, it owned you. If a video on social media upsets you and you argue in the comments, you gave your peace away for free. You didn't respond. You obeyed. And that's where things get dangerous. Not because your feelings aren't real, but because your energy is like money. And the more you spend it on distractions, the less you have for what really matters. Your growth, your dreams, your peace. That's how people stay stuck. Not financially, but emotionally. Tired, triggered, reactive, always fighting battles that don't matter. So they never have the energy to fight the ones that do. But there are some people who move quietly. They don't fall for these traps. They understand that not everything needs a response. That true peace comes from knowing when to walk away, not when to fight. You don't need to join every argument you're invited to. You don't have to explain your silence to people who don't deserve your voice. Because real power is quiet. It doesn't need to shout. It doesn't need to be seen. It just is. Calm, steady, strong. When you start living like this, everything changes. Not because the world becomes easier, but because you stop letting the world control you. Most people don't realize how much of their life is run by automatic reactions. They think they're making choices, but they're really just following old patterns, passed down by family, society, or painful memories. And they think, this is just how I am. But that's not the real you. That's the conditioned version of you, the one trained to react, to seek approval, to get upset easily. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to outgrow it. Because silence is a choice. Patience is a choice. Walking away is not weakness, it's power. When someone disrespects you and you stay calm, you've already won. You didn't let their energy into your space. You stayed focused. That's control. This is why some people move so smoothly through life. It's not luck. It's not that they don't feel. They just don't give their energy to chaos. They know that attention is energy, and whatever gets your attention gets your energy. So if you give it to arguments, drama, fear, or noise, you're feeding the wrong fire. But when you take that attention back, when you breathe, pause, and observe before reacting, you take control again. You start seeing things clearly. You stop giving your energy to places that give nothing in return. This kind of shift doesn't happen overnight. But every time you choose silence instead of drama, presence instead of reaction, and reflection instead of impulse, you become someone new. Not someone who is better than others, but someone who is finally free from what used to control them. There's a quiet glow that starts to show in you, not on your face, but in your presence, in how you walk into a room, in how people look at you but can't explain why they feel something different. That's the power of someone who isn't desperate for attention, approval, or answers. When you stop trying to prove your worth, when you stop chasing closure, when you stop begging for what you think you deserve, you create space. And in that space, the right things come. Not the people who drain you, not situations that test your patience, but peace, calm, opportunities that match your new energy. Life doesn't respond to stress. It responds to your energy. And when that energy is rooted in self-trust, you no longer need to prove anything. You stop explaining your journey. You stop lowering your standards. You stop reacting to noise. Because silence now feels stronger than defending yourself. And that's when the change becomes clear. You're not the same person who used to chase people, argue all the time, or hold on to old pain. You become someone who watches, thinks, and chooses peace. Not because it's easy, but because it's the strongest thing you can do in a world that's always loud. There comes a point in your life where protecting your peace becomes more important than proving your point. You no longer care to be right in every argument. You just want to be free. And freedom, real freedom, doesn't come from controlling the outside world. It comes from managing your inner world. You start to realize that not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every conflict is worth your time. Some people just want to pull you into their chaos because it makes them feel better. But you don't have to join. You can rise above it, not because you think you're better, but because you've outgrown the need to respond to everything. That's the beauty of growth. It's silent. You don't have to post about it. You don't need to announce it. People feel it in your energy, in your calm presence, in how you no longer get involved in every little drama. There's strength in staying silent. There's power in walking away. It's not that you don't have something to say. It's that you know saying it won't change anything. Some people don't want to understand. They want to argue, and that's okay. Let them. You don't need to carry that weight. Protecting your peace means saying no when something doesn't feel right. It means leaving the conversation when it turns toxic. It means choosing your mental health over their comfort. That's not selfish. It's self-respect. You'll notice something when you start doing this. People will get uncomfortable, especially the ones who are used to your old self. They'll say you've changed, and they'll be right. You have changed. You're no longer available for stress. You're no longer open to people who drain you. You've learned to protect your space because you know how hard you worked for your peace. It wasn't easy getting here. You had to unlearn a lot. You had to walk away from people you once loved. You had to let go of habits that felt comfortable but were holding you back. You had to be alone for a while to find yourself again. But you did it. And now, your peace is your priority. People often think peace means everything is perfect, but that's not true. Peace means that even when things aren't perfect, you're not falling apart. You've learned how to stay grounded, how to breathe through the chaos, how to respond instead of react. This doesn't mean you won't get hurt. It doesn't mean you won't feel pain. But it does mean you won't let that pain turn you into someone you're not. You've learned how to sit with your feelings without letting them control you. That's emotional maturity, and it changes everything. It makes you softer, not weaker. It makes you kinder, not naive. It makes you wiser, not colder. Because now you understand that not everything deserves your energy. You choose what enters your space. You choose what you feed. You choose what you let go. And that's what freedom looks like. You'll start to notice things shifting around you. The more peace you find within, the more your outer world begins to reflect it. You attract better conversations, healthier relationships, clearer decisions, and most importantly, you attract peace itself. Because peace is not just a feeling, it's a standard. It's how you choose your friends, how you spend your time, how you speak to yourself. It's not something you wait for. It's something you create, one decision at a time. And with every decision, you either protect your peace or trade it for something temporary. That's why self-awareness is so important. You have to know yourself. What triggers you? What calms you? What feeds your spirit? What drains your soul? Because once you know, you stop giving random people the power to control your day. You stop letting situations ruin your mood. You stop expecting others to give you what you can give yourself. Peace, respect, love, time. The truth is, most people are just repeating cycles. They're not bad. They're just unaware. They haven't paused long enough to reflect on their own patterns. So they react. They blame. They project. But you're different now. You've done the work. You've taken time to heal, to learn, to grow. You're no longer chasing validation. You're no longer begging to be seen. You see yourself clearly now. And that changes how you let others treat you. You're no longer afraid of being misunderstood. You're okay with being silent. You're okay with walking away, because you know peace is more important than proving your side. This isn't arrogance. This is clarity. This is strength. This is alignment. And once you taste this kind of peace, you won't allow anything to disturb it again. Most people live in their minds all day. They plan every word, every step, every outcome. They think if they get everything right, they'll avoid pain, rejection, or failure. But the truth is, this overthinking pulls them away from real life. Planning isn't bad, but when it turns into obsession, it becomes heavy. And life doesn't move well through heaviness. It flows through lightness, space, and presence. Ask yourself this, honestly. When was the last time you were fully present? Not thinking about the next moment, not replaying something that already happened. Just here. Most of your stress comes from trying to control things that haven't even happened yet. That's not intuition. That's fear pretending to be smart. And once you realize this, you begin to see there's a better way to live. Not lazy, not careless, but open. Suddenly the things you used to stress over start to feel lighter. That text you were scared to send. You write it easily once you stop overthinking. That conversation you kept practicing in your head. It flows naturally when you're relaxed. That opportunity you were chasing. It shows up when you stop forcing and just quietly prepare. Here's the paradox. When you no longer need things to happen, they often do. Why? Because your energy isn't locked in fear and control anymore. It's wrapped in calm. It's rooted in trust. And when you trust yourself, something powerful happens. You stop trying to prove your worth. You stop chasing people. You stop forcing life to fit your picture. You start flowing. That's when you see the truth. Control was never real safety. Control was just your shield. And when you finally take that shield down, you discover something even stronger. Your response. Your ability to adjust, to adapt, to grow, to stay centered no matter what. Letting go of control doesn't mean giving up. It means giving space. Space for life to surprise you. Space for your peace to return. Space for the right things to come, without you burning yourself out trying to chase them. Here's what most people don't talk about. Constant control drains your nervous system. It burns your focus. It clouds your thinking. And it fools you into believing that all this stress is progress. But it's not. It's survival mode in disguise. When you loosen your grip, just a little, you begin to see things clearly again. You begin to feel again. Most importantly, you begin to trust yourself again. That trust, it's magnetic. That's why some people can walk into a room and not say a word, as yet everyone notices them. They're not pretending. They're not trying. They're simply present. And presence, real presence, is rare. The truth is, the less you force reactions, the more powerful you become. The less you need to control everything, the more peace you create. The less you chase certainty, the more life naturally reveals itself to you, moment by moment. So if this message meant something to you, take a deep breath. Let it settle. Let it become part of you. Because sometimes, just one small shift in how you see the world can change your whole path. Stay grounded, stay clear, and most of all, stay open.